as for your son, I know you've been kind of wanting me to get into this, but now your son, um, watching him grow up, when did you first realize he had a special athletic ability? Sounds like
I would say that I knew when he played his first ball game when we were in Piper, Kansas. So it's like a little subdivision in Kansas City, and I saw him, and I just saw how he just went out there and he was hungry. It was like watching a lion going to eat his prey. When he had his mind and his eyes set on you, you were down, right? And that was just flag football. And I'm like, Zeke, we can't tackle. Like, stop it, like just pull the flag, son, And so, like, then being able to watch him in tackle football, and that's when I was like, yep, he's got it. And he didn't even know his talent then. And I still believe I always tell him, I'm like, Zeke, you really did suck. Like, for your dad to be who he is, and then to have the genetics of your mom and your dad, like, you weren't that great, kid, and I'm just being honest, But when he figured out who he was, that's when the beast came out. That now I will watch him all day now. It's worth my time. It's worth my time. So yeah, but it's always worth your time. But I think that very first game, just watching him just going out there and being hungry for his opponent, that's when I knew.
How much did your own athletic experience help guide him throughout, not only young but honestly now?
Yeah, I think for the younger years, just being able to keep him like on the straight and narrow, right? Just making sure that he understands that, yeah, you're an athlete, but you're a human first. Like, you still got to be kind to people, even if you are this athlete of this caliber. Especially when, Zeke was real chill, real quiet, didn't speak too much, even up until his sophomore year in high school. And that's when all the offers were coming in. But of course, junior year, especially right after All-American, that's when you started to see he's turning into a man in size. He's turning into a man in mindset. Everything is coming at him. The offers, the coaches, the recruits, the NIL agents. And it was like everything was coming at once. And the way he presented himself was still as Zeke that I raised him to be. And that's when I was like, yep, being an athlete, being able to understand that you still have to remain the same person you are on and off that field, on and off the track, whatever it may be. That's more important than just who you are on that field, on that track, on that court. So, yeah.
During his recruiting process, I know the fact that he got offered from LSU, Virginia Tech, and also Miami. Those were the three main ones. I know there's a couple of others, but they weren't as high because they didn't know what to do with him. Or the fact that they were just interested because everyone was interested. They just went through the hat and ring, just whatever. Right. What conversation did you have with him during the recruiting process? And especially the fact that you and also your ex, Virginia Tech, like, how would that whole recruiting process like when you were having a conversation with him throughout that process?
Right. So there was a lot of conversations, good, bad, and ugly. I think this last year really kind of shaped Ezekiel's and I relationship to now he's no longer a little boy. He is turning into this man. I do have to respect him, even though he's my son. He still has his own opinions. He's about to be doing things that I could never imagine, with different, opportunities that I had never had. So I have to realize that it's a different time, right? So the recruiting process was one that I was able to guide him through based off of kind of the foundation that I had for knowing what recruiting looked like back then. But we're talking 20 years ago. Even if I were to think about what his uncles went through, totally different than what he went through. So I was able to just kind of, hey, Zeke, okay, buddy, I understand. We didn't have this back in the dinosaur ages, but still, buddy, you got to do it this way, right? Even when it came down to Zeke's a very respectful young man, but even when it came down to coaches, I know that sometimes he would become really close to the coaches immediately. And I would be like, hey, we don't answer the coach and be like, what's up, coach? And he's like, Mom, that's the lingo. We're football players. We're not track athletes. And I'm like, still, they're adults. They're my age, which means they were raised in my time, which means we respect each other, and we still expect that from the younger generation. So just kind of teaching him those types of things, remaining humble through the whole process, and really, truly, the recruiting, you really do it for yourself if you just let things just kind of flow. Everything flows in the way it should, it's not something that you really have to press for. It just comes to you.
So. What made the University of Miami the right fit for him? I know he already told me his side, but what you as a mother, what did it make the right fit? I know he told me
Right.
family atmosphere was the main thing that kind of draw him in, but what
Yep.
did you view from your side?
Yep. So, like I told everybody else, Miami was not my first choice for him. I can't even say Virginia Tech was my first choice. I wanted him to go to Virginia Tech because obviously legacy. Dad went there. I went there. His dad played there. So I was like, what better fit? But then as I continued to go through it and started to see how many offers he was getting and starting to realize my kid's not your normal football player. God is opening up doors in so many ways for him that I never imagined. And I'm like, why am I going to put him in a box? Yeah, we have Coach Franklin now at Virginia Tech. Yeah, things are going to change. And he loves Coach Franklin. Like, he was hoping that he would have got the Penn State offer when he went to one of the camps there. But he was coming off of a little slight injury. So he didn't get to show out there. And so Coach was like, you come back and we'll offer you. Well, that time never happened. And then he went to Virginia Tech. And so Zeke really was excited, like, that Coach Franklin went there, because he's like, now it might be an opportunity to play for him. But as things would have played out, Zeke moved the Miami official visit up because it was Ohio State that really wasn't showing as much interest as they claimed they had in him.
Yeah.
And that was part of the recruiting process where I said, as a mom, I said, listen, just like anything else in life, the way they show their love to you, even in this moment, is exactly how they will show their love to you when you get there. I was like, if they're not showing any love after they've thrown that offer, you're not going to get any love when you get there. And I understand it's not about the love, because they're all there to play the game, and football has changed and now money's involved and whatever. I said, but that's even worse. You're not even getting that. They know who they have. They know who they can get. They're not worried about you, Zeke, because right now you got to look, how many tackles do they have on their team right now, right? So teaching him that. So when he went to Miami, and when Miami made that offer, they not only continue to show love. I'm talking coaches putting us all in a group chat, and then each coach messaging you from different, from their own, own personal chat, them answering questions immediately, so somebody else isn't doing it. They're showing you exactly where they're at, and they're like, we'll get back to you in a moment. It was just like they cared. But for him to not go there, and for me not to agree with him going there or really support him in his decision, knowing that you have one of the baddest, if not the baddest, defensive team. Like, seriously, you'd be a dummy to not go there and play on defense. Really, truly. I said, this is home. I hands down, Zeke, I don't have to even like it. If you love it here, I love it here for you. And that's what it was. So I ended up, funny enough, on our official visit, I had already fell in love with it from our unofficial visit. I just didn't tell him because I didn't want that to have any play on how he felt about the school. And of course, he knew before he went and committed that was where it was supposed to be. But the connection to Miami in itself, like in general, is so much more than what Zeke knows. A lot of people have absolutely no idea that's literally where Zeke's story began. In Miami. So, like, truly, he's a hurricane. Even at, you know what I'm saying? Like, from conception, he is a hurricane. Plain and simple. Yeah?
That's the thing about having a parent by your side through that process, because we can, a lot of kids, they see the money. They see, the attention, but you don't see the human interaction side. And the fact that when I was younger, I didn't have that mindset of I can read a person really well, like I do now. Like, I think I started doing really good reading people maybe like 5 years ago, 6 years ago-ish, 7 years ago-ish, but like my early 20s, I start to pick it up sort of. But in your teens, you're very gullible. You're gonna
very much so.
And knowing the fact that you and your ex been through the process, and knowing the fact that this is a totally different era, money's involved, social media's involved, is honestly really good. The fact that you have your rough patches, but he's gonna be like every other stubborn teenager. Nah, you talking about? Get the hell out of here.
Yep, I don't have to listen.
Yeah. But
It's not like not like what you had back in the day, or all of that. I got all of that, but then he realized, oh wait, Mama is right. He stumbled a few times because he did exactly what I told him not to do, and even like knowing he wasn't going to a school and still talking to the coaches, and I'm like, even though you're talking to them politely, if you don't want to go there, end the relationship now. Stop stringing them along so they can go ahead and pick up who they need.
Yeah.
Because right now this is annoying. We're getting 30 to 40 calls at night, all different time zones. I'm talking Cali is calling us and they're wide awake, but I'm like, the wig is off, I'm in bed, and I'm like, hey coach, you know what I'm saying? Like, who was that? But that doesn't matter. Well, especially when it's that rapid fire recruitment stage. You know what I'm saying? It's like every night you're getting a new offer, and it's like, thanks, coach, really appreciate it. But glory be to God, I'm grateful for my 89th offer. It's just, So yeah.
I was gonna say, what do you hope he accomplished, not just as an athlete, but as a human being?
I want him to be. So let's speak on the athletic side real quick. I believe that when I was given Ezekiel, I believe that God literally, the covenant I made with God, I believe Zeke may end up being one of the athletes that go down in history as being one of the best tackles. I say that knowing that I just put that into the air. But that's how close I am with my God and the covenant that I made. Everything that Zeke has completed and everything Zeke has done has literally been what I spoke into existence, what I prayed for, what I asked God for. And it's like he literally told me, hey, I already said I'd do it. And I'm doing it, right? So on that field, I believe that on that level, as long as he keeps his head straight, he keeps on the straight and narrow, I believe that he's going to be one of those athletes that other kids for years to come are going to be like, I want to be like Zeke. As far as a human being, I want him to remain like the kid he was then and the young man he's growing into now. Zeke is a very, very humble and very kind and gentle spirit. As big as he is, and I know he's not the tallest athlete, right? You see some real big freaks in the world right now. These football players are massive. He's not the tallest. Dang. Yeah. I'm like, you're 10th grade and you're 6'7". Like, that's weird. But yeah, he's really super, super gentle, super kind, brilliant. Like, he irritates me now because it's like, are you even trying in school? Like, I'm gonna need you to do a little bit better. I understand, you're already good to go, but this is not okay. He's brilliant, and he's one of them quirky kids. Like, people don't know that about Zeke, right? Jurassic Park, like, just knowing now, like, he texts me the morning of and he's like, Mama, he's like, I'm really sad. And he's like, for real, Mama? He's like, this hurts my heart because this was my childhood, when he passed a couple of days ago. And people, if they knew that about Zeke, they know that he really is just a real cool kid to get to know. And I pray that he remains that way when he becomes a father, when he becomes a husband first, a father. And I just want to be
I like that. Do you think he'll be coming for you for advice when he first goes to college, or do you think you want him to figure out on his own?
Funny enough, I think I want him to figure it out on his own. And if he doesn't figure it out on his own, I want him to go to his daddy. And the reason why I say that is because Dad has played a very, very major role, especially in the last couple of months, where, things happen, life happens. Again, that's where grace comes in, right? And just seeing him light up and knowing that Dad has been going through this process, the biggest part of his life. This is what he worked for. Now I'm doing exactly what my dad did. And like, even them sharing stories, like, Dwayne would be like, nah, buddy, like, I wasn't even this good, or I didn't have this many offers, or you're going to the school that was my dream school. Like, it's just so neat to see them interact. I want him to go to his dad. I can find out later what happened, and I'll be glad to be the second ear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I mean, knowing the fact that I think some parents out there are gonna think I should be the one that he should come to or she should come to, but knowing the fact that you realize that your dad been there before, he done that, and knowing the fact that he's a guy. I'm a girl. Like, it's totally different. The same similar mindset. I mean, maybe you and Zeke got like similar personality, but knowing the fact that as a man, you need another man. I mean, women can
Come
go
on.
so far, but they don't have
Come
the
on.
same, you know,
Come on,
overall.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. And I'm here for all of it. You know, he's had my brothers, he's had my dad, but I mean, my brothers will tell you, you know, as soon as dad came in the picture, they haven't heard much from him, and I love it. We all love it.
Yeah, of course.
It's how, yeah.
Now, if you could write him a letter before his first game at Miami, what would it say?
That's such a, oh my God.
Don't get emotional now. I turn like my mother.
I know, right? Like, shame on you. It would say, you deserve this. Get out there and show the world what you're made of. You have worked hard to be here. You have proven yourself over and over again. This is just another day for you. Get out there and kill it. Just get out there and do it. Zeke, everything he's done in his life has been because he's had to prove that he is worthy of being where he is. And so, yeah, just get out there. Let them know who you are. Let them know who your God is. Let all that shine through, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
And then another one I want to say, what will be going through your mind when you watch him wear a Miami uniform for the first time?
Pride. I'm gonna be extremely proud of him. When he wore the uniforms for the official visit, it was overwhelming. It was breathtaking. It was like, I did this, right? We made it. We made it. Knowing that through everything that we've been through, like, you are literally at the highest level of athleticism as you can be before you hit the NFL, like in football world, and it's like, you did that, buddy. You know what I'm saying? And so just and then again, just being able to experience that with him, and then him being able to experience that with his dad. You know, his dad just made that whole experience for him everything. So it exuded from him. It was, you could smell the joy, like literally just seeping through his pores. So yeah, just being a very, very prideful mom, very, very happy.
You're taking all cheery over here, trying to keep your
Yes, shut it out.